Hello, this is Stalker, and it's part 3 of the Age of Warring Empire manual, and my Russian cigarette is almost dead, so we have to make this quick. Now, we talked about those two breeds of farmer, and we probably understood that it's the vendetta farmer that you're interested in, because he's the more violent, more aggressive, and more difficult to deal with. Chapter 3, it's called Wilds and Strongholds. Your vendetta farmer will most likely take all your wilds or strongholds in the area and either drop them or defend them with a kind of armor you cannot beat. If he is vigilant, taking them back in order to gain resources is a waste of time. You will enjoy the resource boost for about 10 minutes. And time is what you want to save. Forget about those and take strongholds or wilds at a great distance, say 1 hour's march from the location. Your farmer will spend much more time and energy looking for them than you will spend taking them, and trust me, the time spent on his side will be rather frustrating. The reason is this: supposing you take a look around and note down some distant wilds or strongholds, you then take 2 or 3 every day. However, your farmer doesn't know when, where, and most importantly, if you're taking any wilds. To stop you from doing this, he would need to search a relatively wide circle every day. Now that looks more like a frustrating night shift in a factory than enjoyable gameplay. It goes without saying that you still need someone to refresh those wilds. Contact some weaker players in the area. Everybody likes a high-level wild, and everybody likes to kick a bully's ass. Besides, this will further confuse the farmer searching for the wilds, and, if he's really determined, it will somewhat frustrate him that so many people are helping you, especially if he wants you there in the gutter. Oh, did I mention this was a psychological game? Now, next chapter, the use of traps. The first rule is a trap kills 5 enemy troops of one kind. The second rule is this: a trap costs about half the price of the soldiers it kills, or less. To demoralize a resource farmer, you need a few traps. To win against a vendetta farmer, you will need truckloads of them. So the third rule is upgrade your wall. And the fourth rule is think of nothing but upgrading your wall. This will increase the number of traps you can build, and you need to be prepared. For a resource farmer, prepare a few traps of each kind. For a vendetta farmer, you will most likely need rolling logs, because he's got a lot of catapults, obviously. Now, my Russian cigarette has just died, and we're moving to chapter number 5, which is winning allied support. Now, let's face it, the farmer, the aggressor, is a bully. He's far stronger than you. He's got a greater army, more gold, and probably a stronger alliance to back him up. So you cannot beat him on your own. Never, ever. Don't even dream about that. What you need, in the better case, is the quiet support of a few members of a friendly alliance. In the ideal case, you also want to win the support of a neutral alliance, a couple neutral players, people who are from alliances with nothing to do with you or the enemy, people who happen to be around. Now, you don't want anything complicated. No complicated and expensive strategies. You don't want any strong players fighting that farmer of yours. You don't want dozens of people porting to your location, spending gold doing it. You don't want allies who would spend millions of copper coins and reinforce your pathetic army that would, in the best of cases, inflict some minor damage. Actually, you don't want to inflict any damage at all. What you want to do is you want to inflict frustration and despair and boredom. That's your major goal. And your solution must be as cheap and strategically ingenious as possible. Now, remember again that everybody wants to kick a bully's ass. So your initial chance of success with potential allies will be, well, pretty high, I hope. And if you offer a cheap solution, your chances will most likely mold into a certainty, whoever you talk to. Now, there might be the initial investment. You might want some friendly players move to your location, and each of them will pay probably 50 gold to do that. It's not more than your farmer did, so in that case you would be even pretty much. You want them moving in a particular pattern. You want yourself, your city, to be in the middle between the farmer and your allies, because you want to get there first. Now, also, you should contact and ask for help from some of those neutral players, and in a moment you're going to figure out how. Now here comes the devilish plan, as we call it. Your allies, your porting allies, also your allies in the region, your neutral players, will act as warehouses, as department stores full of resources. They will also farm you in case you have a surplus of one or more resources. You don't want them to fall in the wrong hands. What you want to, and what your plan is, to use their resources and your resources to build as many traps as you can every day. That's your basic goal. That's how you're going to demoralize and bore your attacker to death. That's the basic thing. Now, your farmer might offer your wilds and strongholds to other players in the area. Now, this is where the neutral players come in. They will follow on your farmer's offer and take the wilds and then allow you to farm them. Thus, your farmer will unknowingly provide you with the resources he believes he has stolen from you. This in itself should make your day. Even if your farmer farms both you and your allies, you should manage, by means of farming each other, to hide the resources from him and use them in building traps on your account. Remember that your farmer might have 2 good armies at a maximum, and he will most likely not split them up. If he does, then you might start thinking about defending and killing his troops. Now, this is just a little detour about defending. In case, talking about the so-called goat trick, in case you want to take your chances and defend, even very good players sometimes make the mistake of sending 2 full arrays of catapults and 2 archers or infantry as decoys, and some even sent 1 array full of catapults or anything and 3 decoys, which is a complete prestige gold mine. And what you do is you set up troops on your wall and wait for that attack. And if that kind of attack comes in, you build 1 trap that kills those decoys. It could be an archer trap or an infantry trap, and you finish it using this little button which says finish with 1 gold. Supposing you have 1 gold, finish it and then defend. And if your array is clever enough, if it's a defensive one, and if your opponent does something quite predictable, you will most likely kill all his troops with no losses or very few losses on your side. And I think this would be the end of this part, and wait for more.